Hey everybody, and welcome to the weekly Scopes from the 31st of December 2023 right up until the 6th of January 2024. So the 31st of December, the last day of the year. I hope everything went as well as it could for you, and I wish you, all the best for the coming year, and I'll talk more about that at the end. So first I'll jump into the 31st of December. So the moon enters Leo and Jupiter goes direct, so lots of the planets Uranus and Pluto over the next couple of weeks have or will be coming out of retrograde directly. So the moon in Leo allows us to go after what we really want, have more confidence, embrace our inner passion and sign, but we can become, attention seekers and overly dramatic on the negative end and be ego driven in our behaviour. So just watch out for that, especially if you're going out over, the New Year's Eve and stuff. Just, make sure you keep your space, kind of as calm as can be, and just have a nice time, allow your friends to sign and you sign, and just try and have a good time rather than dominate. Jupiter going direct allows us to, go after those money-making ideas we might have got when Jupiter was in retrograde, but we couldn't quite positive or actual action into doing them. It wants us to embrace new possibilities and take bold leaps forward in our lives. So this can be by, expanding our mindset, learning new things, trying to understand where other people are coming from, anything that just makes our life a lot more peaceful, calmer and balanced. But we have to watch out for being too reckless or being too optimistic as well. We have to make sure that we plan our actions and do our research and respect other people's boundaries and assert our ways in authentic ways and not in self-destructive ways. So ultimately, when Jupiter goes direct, it basically allows us to have faith in the universe guidance, in our higher self, build our self-esteem and sense of identity, and just, it can trigger just a surge of ambition. The new year's coming, you may be like, right, this is the year, I'm finally going to reach those exercise goals, spiritual goals, career goals, educational goals, relationship goals, anything you've got that written down that you haven't been doing or failed to do or haven't been making much progress on. You can vow with Jupiter going direct over the next 4 to 5 months, supporting us in just making those deep connections with ourselves and others. But we just have to watch out for becoming too self-focused. If you want to know more about what to do when Jupiter goes direct, of course I've done a longer explanation of what it means more for our career and educational, spiritual development and the karmic reasons, and what it means for hookup and co-workers and committed relationships and so much more. So check out that link in the playlist. So on the 1st of January we're starting the new year, so happy new year. What can I say? If you're feeling down and you feel like life is totally crap and you may be thinking, oh my god, what a way to start a new year, things can get better no matter how low. I've had New Year's well gone in, and I'm recording this in advance. Who knows, this new year at actual time may be crappy for me, but I'm being optimistic and being like, this is going to be the year where I'm finally going to put my all in and just see what's going to happen, because at times we can procrastinate and self-sabotage. Working through our psychological trauma and spiritual and emotional wounds is not easy. So I wish you all the best for this year, and I do believe in you. So go and get everything you've ever dreamed of, as long as you're willing to work for it daily and take practical action and commit to a lifelong journey of understanding and forgiving your emotional, psychological and spiritual wounds, and managing your financial and physical health and getting up after each failure. As long as you're prepared to do that, and I know it's easier said than done, then I do believe 2024 and beyond can be your year. So this year, as the planets go into the new year, the sun is in the constellation of Sagittarius. So remember, this is all based on Vedic constellational astrology. The moon is in the constellation of Leo, Mercury starts the new year in Scorpio, so communications can be a bit sketchy, especially because Mercury is still in retrograde as well. Venus is also in Scorpio, so our planet of communication and love all in Scorpio, so things can be fiery communication, fiery displays of affection, but can also help us connect with our inner values as well. Mars is in Sagittarius, pushing us, and it's also out of bounds for the next week or so. So people can be using their Mars energy erratically, but Mars is going to come back into bounds, into the realms of 23.27, meaning its energy is going to be easier to control, so we'll be able to take focused action towards our goals. Jupiter is in Aries, so this is expansive area, making us just go after what we want, but we just need to watch out for being reckless and impulsive. Saturn's in Aquarius, so Saturn's in the detached kind of like mode, wants us to focus on being innovative, individual, while also being humanitarian as well. And it's good for social activism. Content creators are probably going to start working more behind the scenes more. People getting more cautious about their identities, being out there online and stuff. So more smaller communities in terms of content, and just the way people get their content is going to be going on and getting a bigger thing. People are going to be homing down into their niches, whether it be from the content they consume or to their relationships. Uranus is also in Aries as well, so lots of passion, energy over the year in doing things in our sort of like individualistic ways. Uranus starts the year in retrograde as well, so again, as Uranus goes direct, we'll be able to use its energy of innovation, thinking out of the box more clearly. Neptune's in Pisces, which is its home ruler, so it's direct there, so it's it's feeling that home secrets can come out, but we can be more addictive right now as well, and running into our excessive drinking, drug taking and stuff. Also supports mystical experiences over the coming year as well. Pluto's in Capricorn, so bringing stabilization to our transformation attempts. Chiron starts the year in Pisces, so again all wounds to do with our spirituality, our self-destructive habits and toxic ways of relating to ourselves and others can come to the forefront over the year. And the moon's north node is retrograde in Pisces as well, so a lot of Pisces energy, a lot of emotional energy wanting us to take stock and go within, but also some fire energy and earth energy in Pluto, giving us that stabilizing core to go after what we really want this year. So on the 1st of January, Venus makes a square to Saturn, so the first major aspect of this year, so it encourages us to approach matters of the heart with maturity and a willingness to work through challenges. Maybe some of you didn't end last year on the best note in your intimate relationship, so this energy, New Year's Eve we can get into trouble, gives us the energy to repair bonds in our intimate friendships and romantic relationships as well, but negatively can cause more conflict and tension in relationships as well. So it's important to deal with the underlying issues in the relationship that you've ignored or been putting off, or any other limitations in your life. Looking at what do I actually need to do to reach my goals, who do I need to talk to, who do I need to forgive, how can I manage myself and love myself more, how can I take control of my life more, and how can I effectively communicate with others as well. So although this energy can make us feel, because Saturn's involved here, frustrated and emotionally kind of distant, the best use of this energy is to take accountability and responsibility for bringing more health and balance into our relationships and into our self-love attempts, and self-forgiveness and nurturing attempts as well, letting go of emotional patterns and attachments and expectations, and just learning to go with the flows more. We may have to challenge the things we've come to believe is true, assess our values and priorities, especially in relationships, and being more realistic in our approach to romance. Are we in the right relationship? if if we are in one, and if we continue being and doing the things we are doing, can we attract the right people into our life? What do we need to change within ourselves in order to attract the things we really want in our life? So this energy allows us to confront and be honest about our fears and insecurities and weaknesses, and how we can channel them into strengths, and how we can use our strengths to make our weaknesses strengths, or at least manage them, bringing us that self-awareness, examining how we give and receive love, and what our true expectations is around intimacy as well, and thinking about the ways we may try and control relationships. Do we withhold affection? Do we give too much affection? Do we put our partners on the pedestal? Something I've had to deal with in the past and stuff. What are your toxic relationship habits, and how can you improve them over the next year? Really wants us to face the realities of love and make personal, spiritual and emotional psychological evaluations, so we can grow, really digging deep into our hearts and minds, and just allowing ourselves to let go of any illusions or fantasies that we have held on to, and embrace a more grounded and realistic perspective on romance and relationships and self-love and care and nurturing. And although it can be uncomfortable, trusting that delving deep into our fears and insecurities can lead to deeper levels of trust and connection within ourselves and with others. This energy allows us over the coming weeks to open up fully to honest communication, being vulnerable with those who we can trust to be so with, and build stronger foundations within our relationships. On the 2nd of January, Mercury goes direct in Scorpio, and the moon also enters void of course today, and the moon also enters Virgo. So when Mercury goes direct, we can, if we've been experiencing problems with technology and people, slowly this delay and confusion can shift, and we can be more effective in our communication. If you want to know more about Mercury going direct out of retrograde, check out the special. The moon void of course allows us to take some time out if need be. Some astrologers say it's best to put off important meetings and things. It's a perfect opportunity to meditate, rest and take some relaxation, recharge your emotional batteries. But on the negative end, we can, not be clear about our decisions, lack clarity, and long-term outcomes may be more uncertain right now. So just take time out, be sort of like gentle with yourself if you feel like you can't make a decision, and be gentle with others as well. The moon also enters Virgo today, so this allows us to be stable, focus on the practicalities and take accountability and be responsible and pay attention to detail, but negatively can add to us being critical and unsure, too analytical and lacking emotional warmth and compassion and understanding. So it's a good energy to use to do things that require us to be paying attention to detail, working in routine, going over our health routines, being of service to others, crossing our I's and dotting our T's. But we just have to make sure also that we proofread documents and confirm appointments due to Mercury still transitioning from retrograde, to make sure we just stay on top of things and we don't think things are being taken care of and they're not. So yeah, that's the 2nd of January. On the 3rd of January, Venus makes a quincunx to Jupiter, so this allows us to explore new experiences if we're open, but with all quincunx energy we may have to adjust several times a day, because this energy can bring imbalance, leading to conflicts or amplifying them, and also causing missed opportunities, because we can get angry and frustrated and get mad at somebody who's trying to help us, and we can lose out on something that we really need and that could really help us at this time. So just try and be respectful, but also don't make people cross your boundaries as well, but try and resolve conflicts rather than adding flames to the fire, because we've just gotten into the new year year after all. So this energy allows us and supports the theme of the week is rethinking our attitudes towards love and relationships and money, helps us sort out our finances as well, or arguments that come up over money at this time. Maybe you've overspent in the past month or so, as we all can do, can really just get you to reevaluate and change how you spend money in the future. So it allows us to self-reflect. It can also bring up some conscious patterns and fears that need to be addressed and released. So a lot of energy this week is supporting the New Year theme of letting go of the past to start our future. So on the 4th of January, the moon enters its last quarter moon phase. The moon void, of course, also starts as well. So the last quarter moon supports us in this self-reflection and making the necessary changes to achieve our goals. Negatively, it can bring some emotional, psychological and spiritual challenges and make us restless and frustrated. But ultimately what happens now, you guessed it, supports our personal growth. So just use this to take stock of your progress and evaluate the areas of your life that need your attention, and make a plan to change them, letting go of what no longer serves you, and just working through your internal conflicts, especially those where you feel stagnated in and you resist change. We've all got those areas, whether it be drinking, smoking, too much clubbing, spending too much money, whether it is that you kind of resist looking into, is probably the habit or habits you need to change the most. So, this energy allows us to examine our beliefs, emotions and behaviours, and just wants us to align our true values with our words and actions, and, build on that self-awareness and look into the areas and reasons why we self-sabotage and, procrastinate and get in the way of our own progress. On the 5th of January, the moon enters Libra, so this brings balance and fairness, gives us the ability to see all sides of our argument and situation, but can make us people pleasing and avoid conflicts altogether on the negative end, which can get in the way of us being authentic and our personal growth. Can also make us indecisive and overly dependent on others for validation. So the best use of this energy is to strengthen our relationships. Take time out for self-care. Think about the ways you lack self-respect and how you can build your self-esteem and love and respect, and how you can work with other people in a way that respects their boundaries but also respects your boundaries and meets your needs as well as theirs as well. Taking time out to consider different people's viewpoints while also standing up for yourself as well, and trying to find compromise, being diplomatic and fair-minded in our attitude can promote effective communication and bring resolutions to our situations and problems. So this is good. On the 6th of January, the moon enters via combustion. The sun also makes a square to Chiron, and the moon also goes void, of course. So the moon in via combustion is when the moon's between the 15th degrees of Libra and the 15th degree of Scorpio. So this can be kind of fiery, we can be more passionate, and we can just be more restless and have inner turmoil, and this can bring disagreements in our relationships. But ultimately the moon via combustion helps us to reflect on our emotions, because if we're not aware of what emotes us, what we feel, how can we deal with it? So although it can be kind of challenging, what happens now allows for true healing to continue or to start. The sun square to Chiron encourages us and supports us in confronting our past wounds and finding ways to heal them. So very integrated energies, bringing pain but also giving us the support to overcome them as well. The best use of these energies is to take time out for self-care, get therapy, engage in self-help techniques, call a helpline like the Samaritans if you feel down, or any others that can help you right now as well. Seek out support from friends or other people at this time, but ultimately be patient with yourself. Try and forgive and love yourself, releasing that game of guilt and shame that we can often feel for being less than, and just try and be gentle with yourself at this time as well, because ultimately these aspects want us to reflect and allow ourselves to understand ourselves and others on a deeper level, and find healthy ways to manage our emotional and psychological and spiritual pain, and making sure that we, use this energy to get outside of our comfort zones, to embrace just a more stable sense of self, and we do this by slowly forgiving ourselves and the past and the people that have hurt us, and that pain that we can hold on to or not release healthily can hold us back. So just reflecting on that, and I know it's a bit heavy for the new year, but I want us to have the best new year. So the stars are guiding us to heal and to repair our relationship, especially the relationship with our own self. So yeah, that's the weekly scopes from the 31st of December to the 6th of January 2024.